Hello everyone, I'm going to discuss the questions of section E. These are the questions of the year 2023. Let me discuss the question paper section E of the year 2023. Section E is a very easy section. It comprises of case-based study questions in the first question, in the 34th question, the 34th question of the question paper. However, it is the first question of section E. The question is like this: read the given case and answer the questions that follows. I am going to read the passage and answer the questions. One way in which new consumers are created is through advertisements. As you know, advertisements make products appear desirable and necessary. They try to shape the minds of people and create new needs. Today, we live in a world where advertisements surround us. They appear in newspapers, magazines, hoardings, street walls, television screens. But if we look back into history, we find that from the very beginning of the industrial age, advertisements have played a part in expanding the markets for products and in shaping a new consumer culture. When Manchester industrialists began selling clothes in India, they put labels on the cloth bundles. The label was needed to make the place of manufacture and name the company familiar to the buyer. The label was also a mark of quality when buyers saw made in Manchester written in bold. Yes, yes. So yes, the passage is as follows. When Manchester industrialists began selling clothes in India, they put label on the cloth bundles. The label was needed to make the place of manufacture and name of the company familiar to the buyer. The label was also to be a mark of quality. When the buyer saw made in Manchester written in bold on the label, they were expected to feel confident about buying the cloth. This is the passage with regard to market for goods. Now I'll be discussing all these questions. Let us start. The first question is, how was the marketing of goods done in India by the British? The second one is, how were the new consumers created through advertisement during colonial India? Third one, identify the messages conveyed through advertisements during industrialization. So the answers are as follows. The first question of the section E, the 34th question, the first part is, how was marketing of goods done in India by the British? The answer is through labels, images of Indian gods and goddesses, calendars. You can write any other relevant points. However, you just need to explain any one point. It carries only 1 mark. Now I'm going to discuss 34, the second part of the 34th question. How were the new consumers created through advertisements during the colonial India? The answers are as follows. Advertisements made products appear desirable and necessary. They tried to shape the minds of people and create new needs. Second, they appeared in newspapers, magazines, hoardings, street walls, etc. Third one, advertisements have played a part in expanding the market for products and in shaping a new consumer culture. You are supposed to write any one point is more than enough. Now I am going to discuss the third question of section E, that is the 34th question, part 3. Identify the message conveyed through advertisements during industrialization. For the expansion of market of the product, place of manufacturing, 3 familiarity, 4 mark of goods, 6 to purchase Swadeshi. You are supposed to write any 2 points. This question carries 2 marks. Now I am going to do the 34th question. I am going to read the passage of the 35th question. This passage is about conservation of energy resources. The questions are given. The answers are there in the passage itself. Conservation of energy resources. Energy is the basic requirement for economic development. Every sector of the national economy, agriculture, industry, transport, commercial, and domestic needs input of energy. The economic development plans implemented since independence necessarily required increasing amount of energy to remain operational. As a result, consumption of energy in all forms has been steadily rising all over the country. In the background, there is an urgent need to develop a sustainable path of energy development, promotion of energy conservation, and increased use of renewable energy sources are the twin planks of sustainable energy. India is presently one of the least energy efficient countries in the world. We have to adopt a cautious approach for the judicious use of our limited energy resources. For example, as concerned citizens, we can do our bit by using public transport system instead of individual vehicles, switching off electricity when not in use, using power saving devices, and using non-conventional sources of energy. At last, energy saved is energy produced. I am going to discuss the questions of 31 part A, 31 part B, that is the second part, and 35 part 1, 35 part 2, and 35 part 3. What is sustainable energy? Why is sustainable energy a key to sustainable development? The answer is as follows. Energy is the basic requirement for economic development. Every sector of the national economy, agriculture, industry, transport, commercial, and domestic needs inputs of energy. Then the third one is sustenance of future depends upon energy, conservation of energy in all realms. You are supposed to write any one point. The second part of the 35th question is, why is consumption of energy rising all over India? Number one, India is the world largest energy consuming country. Second, rising incomes and improving standard of living. Third, economic development, rising population, and technological development. Write any one point. One point is enough. If a question carries 1 mark, then write only 1 point. You don't have to waste your time in writing all the points. As per the marks, you have to write the points. As I already mentioned, depending upon the number of marks, you have to write the number of points. Now I'm going to discuss the answer of the third part of the 35th question. Explain energy saved is energy produced. Number one, using renewable energy. Number two, improve energy security. Third one, improve access to energy. Fourth one, by ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. Then reduce, reuse, and recycle. Write any 2 points. It carries 2 marks. Next passage is about decentralization. I'm going to read the passage and discuss the answers of the question with regard to this passage. Decentralization in India. When the power is taken from central and state governments and given to the local government, it is called decentralization. It means to distribute the powers. The basic idea behind decentralization is that there are large number of problems and issues that can be best settled at local level. People have better knowledge of problems in their locality. They can also have better ideas on where to spend money and how to manage things more efficiently. Besides, at the local level, it is possible for people to directly participate in decision making. This helps to inculcate a habit of democratic participation. Local government is the best way to realize one important principle of democracy, namely local self-government. The need for decentralization was recognized in our constitution. Since then, there have been several attempts to decentralize power to the levels of villages and towns. Panchayats in the villages and municipalities in urban areas were set up in all the states, but these were directly under the control of the state government. Elections to the local governments were not held regularly. So, the first question of this question is, the first part of this question is 36.1 is explain decentralization in democracy. The second part of the 36th question is explain the importance of local self-government in democracy. The third part of the 36th question is describe any two steps taken by the Indian government for decentralization. I am going to discuss the answers. Okay, the answer of the first part of the 36th question is explain decentralization in democracy. It is when the power is taken away from the central and state governments and given to the local governments. It's called decentralization. You are supposed to write any one point. The 36.2 question is explain the importance of local self-government in democracy. It is when large number of problems and issues are best settled at local level. People have better ideas about money spent and how to manage things more efficiently. Third one, people can participate in decision making process. You are supposed to write any one relevant point. Now I'm going to discuss the third part of the 36th question. Describe any two steps taken by the Indian government for decentralization. Panchayats in villages and municipalities in urban areas have been set up. Powers have been given to the panchayats and municipalities. 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments. You are supposed to explain any 2 points. Thank you so much. I have discussed all the answers of section E. I have been discussing the answers of the question paper 2023. I'll be discussing the 5 years question papers of social science and English. I hope you understood all the answers that I discussed with you all. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next video.